Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's videos. So y'all, today I want to do this really fun video and just share with you all some French words and phrases that I learned from my recent trip to Martinique. I'm not sure if these are kind of like phrases that Martiniquans say or if it's just general phrases, right? But yeah, whatever, it's in French, so maybe it's just like something that is general and something that they say, right? So yeah, without any further ado, let us get right into it. Okay, so the first French phrase that I learned, and we realized that this was like something that French people say because you would hear them like use it like in their conversation, and it's kind of like, why do you say this? Because part of it is actually English and part is French, right? So it's an English word and then there's like the French word to it, right? So the first phrase is okay decor, right? We know what okay means, right? Because it's English. And decor, it means okay in French, right? So I guess like for us who speak English, you would be like okay, like if we're like having a conversation, like we'll say like okay like twice. So I think like in their case, this is kind of what they would say. So they will be having a conversation and be like okay d'accord, and like that's just like the phrase, right? So this is like the first phrase that like we were like constantly hearing people like using in their conversations. So the second phrase, I don't know if I could call it a phrase because it's more than one word. The second phrase that I learned, which was something that I already knew from like how to ask like a particular question in French, right? So the second one is ça va, right? And in learning French, one of the first things you will learn if you're like learning any language is like how to ask how are you, right? So in French you would ask how are you, well there are different ways actually that you could ask it, but one of the ways is asking como ça va, right? And it basically means how are you, right? Sometimes okay, so for us English again, like we don't like always ask someone how are you, right? We'll be like you good, kind of like giving them the answer. So and then they'll just kind of respond like yeah, I'm good. So in this case, when like you meet someone and they are like greeting you, they don't like ask you como ça va, or in our case like it's how are you. They don't ask you like how are you. They'll just be like ça va, and it's kind of like yeah, ça va bien, whatever, right? This is something that you hear all the time. Like they wouldn't ask you like a full sentence like how are you doing, da 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 da, but they will just like say ça va, and it's kind of like how are you. But yeah, that was like pretty interesting because it's like this is not what I learned. So, like I learned to say it a particular way, but then when you're actually in the environment, in the language, you realize that they don't necessarily like say the formal way that you would typically ask like how are you. All right, so the third phrase that I learned is c'est ça. When you hear French people like just speaking in their conversation or whatever, they tend to use this phrase c'est ça, and it means that's it, right? So they'll just be like having a normal conversation. So like let's pretend, well I can't have a conversation in French, but let's say like you're having a conversation in English and you're like, well I told you don't eat that, otherwise you will get sick because it wasn't good, so now you have to face the consequences, so c'est ça, that's it. Like yeah, like so that is like how they would kind of like use that phrase, and you hear it all the time when they are speaking. The fourth phrase that I learned, and this one also has like English in it. Basically, well, my next two phrases actually have to do with like French people having like phone conversations, right? Like what they say at the beginning and the end of the conversation. So what they say, well, sometimes you would hear them basically like answer the phone and they would say oui hello, which is, well, oui is yes in French, right? And hello is hello, right? So like that is how they answer their phone. It's not like, you know, hello, good day, you know how we would do it, like hello, good day, hi, or whatever, right? So they'll be like yes, hello, like. So that was just like interesting because it's like, okay, why do you all say like yes, like at the beginning of your call? And like it's funny how they like even like use like English words in their conversations. So I thought that I was pretty interested. And know like I like to answer my calls saying yellow because it's just like fun. And lastly, my last phrase that I learned, which is how they basically like end their conversations, right? So this one also have like English in it. What they would say when they are ending their conversation, you would hear them say allez, bye bye. And allez, if I'm remembering correctly, means to go. So like I'm not sure why they say that. I don't know if it means like, okay, I'm going, goodbye. Like maybe they say it and to mean kind of like that, I'm going, bye bye. But allez, if I'm remembering correctly, means to go, and then they will just be like bye bye, which is like, you know, goodbye, right? So which is English. So you would hear like a lot of them like end their conversation like that. So guys, I hope that you were able to learn, you know, some of these phrases, and maybe you can try them. You can use them in your conversations. Well, at least the ones that, you know, have English in it. It was pretty interesting to see just like some of the things that they would say, the phrases, the words that you would like constantly hear repeatedly, and it's kind of like, okay, like what does that mean? Like why do you all say that? And it really helped you to like learn kind of firsthand experience the language. So guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Make sure and subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed, and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.